Shalom, shalom, friends. Today, a question from one of my students, a bar mitzvah student, prompted me to think a little bit about one of the most beautiful features of our creation, and that is diversity. If you walk through a forest, you'll not find two leaves exactly alike. If you look up at the night sky, every star shines with its own intensity. And if you look around you, you'll see something equally remarkable. No two human beings are exactly the same. Judaism does not view this diversity as an accident. You see, it's part of God's design. The Mishnah teaches an extraordinary lesson. It asks why God created all human beings from a single first human being, Adam. One answer is that no person can say to another, "My ancestor is greater than yours." But another answer is even more profound. Just as a king stamps many coins from a single mold and every coin looks identical, the Holy One creates every person in the image of God, and yet no two people are alike. Think about that. Diversity is not a problem to be solved, it's a reflection of the divine. Every person carries the image of God, but each person reflects a different aspect of that image. Some people, they're analytical. Others are compassionate. Some are dreamers and others are builders. Some speak boldly and others listen deeply. Some are outgoing and some are quiet. Each of us reveals something unique about God that no one else can reveal in exactly the same way. And this idea, it appears throughout Jewish tradition. The Talmud teaches that just as people's face is different from one another, so do their thoughts. We should not expect everyone to think alike. In fact, Judaism has long celebrated argument and disagreement. The pages of the Talmud are filled with differing opinions preserved side by side. The goal was not always uniformity. The goal was the pursuit of truth through many voices. Our sages understood something that remains true today. Diversity of perspective can deepen wisdom. Yet diversity is not always easy. Human beings naturally seek belonging. We like people who think as we do, vote as we do, pray as we do, and see the world as we do. Difference can make us uncomfortable. It can challenge our assumptions. It forces us to admit that we do not possess the whole truth. The Torah repeatedly calls us beyond that comfort zone. Again and again, we are commanded to love the stranger. More than any other commandment regarding interpersonal relationships, the Torah reminds us to care for those who are different from us. Why? Because we know what it feels like to be outsiders. The Jewish people spent centuries as strangers in other lands. Our history teaches us empathy. It teaches us to recognize the dignity of people whose experiences may be very different from our own. But there's an even deeper spiritual reason. When we encounter someone who is different, we are given an opportunity to encounter God. The Hasidic masters taught that every person we meet has something to teach us. Every encounter contains a spark of holiness. Sometimes God speaks through those who affirm our beliefs, and sometimes God speaks through those who challenge them. The question is whether we are willing to listen. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks often wrote that unity does not require uniformity. A healthy society, like a healthy orchestra, depends on many different instruments playing together. The violin does not need to become a trumpet. The flute does not need to be a drum. Their differences create the beauty. The same is true, whether it's a congregation, a family, a community, or a nation. The Torah offers a powerful image for this. The tabernacle in the wilderness was constructed from many different materials: gold, silver, copper, wood, wool, linen, precious stones. No single material was sufficient by itself. Only together did they create a dwelling place for God's presence. Perhaps that's true of us as well. God's presence is revealed not when everyone is identical, but when diverse people bring their unique gifts together in a spirit of shared purpose. This does not mean that all ideas are equal or that we will never disagree. Judaism certainly believes in values and contradictions and convictions. But it does mean that every person deserves dignity. Every person deserves to be heard. Every person deserves to be treated as a bearer of the divine image. The challenge of diversity is not simply tolerating difference. It is learning to appreciate it. It's easy to love those who are just like us. Spiritual growth begins when we learn to see holiness in those who are not. Imagine what would happen if before every conversation we silently reminded ourselves, this person is created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Would we listen differently? Would we speak differently? How differently would we disagree? The world often encourages us to sort people into categories, us and them, insiders and outsiders, friends and opponents. But our tradition invites us to look deeper. Behind every label is a soul. Behind every opinion is a human being. Behind every face is the image of God. And perhaps that is the deepest spiritual lesson of diversity. God is far too great to be reflected in only one kind of person. We need one another to glimpse the fullness of the divine. May we have the wisdom to honor the uniqueness within ourselves, the humility to learn from those who are different from us, and the courage to build communities where diversity is not merely accepted but celebrated. For when we truly see the image of God in one another, we come a little closer to seeing God. Amen. We'll conclude with a prayer, the mourner's kaddish, as we always do. Yitgadal v'yitgadash me'rava b'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabam v'varach le'olam le'amei amaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbawar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yidaleh v'yidalal shemei d'kudisham b'richu Liela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Thank you, friends. I appreciate your being with me. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place.